Hi, my name is Homer. I wrote the Odyssey 2,800 years ago, and today I am surrounded by the cast of Nolan's 2026 Odyssey. I believe my original Odyssey far outclassed this new mid-2026 movie. Sign on, my boy. Welcome. Now, in my original text, you were a masterclass in psychological warfare. A smooth-talking liar spinning a web of false victimhood that fooled an entire city. But Nolan dragged that horse to the absolute forefront as an Art Deco nightmare, turning you into a child soldier left behind as a bloody human sacrifice. Care to explain why you stripped my greatest masterclass in espionage into a miserable biohazard?
You weren't inside the horse, Homer. You didn't write the reality of it. It wasn't a masterclass. It was a sleek Art Deco coffin. We were packed like sardines in our own filth for days, breathing through hollow reeds while the tide rose inside the statue. John Bernthal's Menelaus was having a full psychological breakdown next to me.
Yes, exactly. War is desperate, and my Odysseus used absolute ruthlessness to end a 10-year stalemate. But look at what Nolan did. He turned a brilliant tactical pivot into a self-pitying guilt trip. My Odysseus didn't leave you behind as a token of spiritual penance. He used calculated deception to win a war that had dragged on for a decade. You're robbing a strategic triumph of its bite just to make everyone look like they need therapy.
Every time I close my eyes, I smell stagnant salt water and bronze polish, Homer.
Look, I feel for your lungs, kid. But a war story needs cold calculation, not a navel-gazing panic attack in a bronze box. Next. Ah, Penelope. My brilliant, steadfast queen. For 20 long years, your cleverness matched Odysseus's. You wove and unwove the shroud of Laertes, outsmarting a house full of predatory men with pure intellect. But Nolan's film turns you into an indignant modern CEO Twitter feminist, lecturing everyone about macroeconomic structural tax reforms. Why throw away one of the greatest literary displays of quiet female strategy in history?
Quiet female strategy? Stop right there, old man. Did you seriously reduce my survival to a sewing hobby while Matt Damon's Odysseus was out getting zonked out on memory-wiping lotus leaves in Calypso's spa?
It's not a hobby. It's a metaphor for endless patience and intellectual endurance. My Penelope didn't need to stand on a soapbox shouting corporate policy to prove her power. She held an entire royal court at bay with a loom and a brain. She outsmarted them from inside the patriarchal trap. She didn't need to rewrite the tax code to do it.
In Nolan's film, I actually ran Ithaca, Homer. Your plot leaves the throne entirely vacant, while my son runs around looking for daddy issues.
Because the Odyssey is a hero's journey about homecoming and the restoration of cosmic order. If the kingdom is running smoothly without him, the entire thematic weight of the Nostos, the desperate yearning to return home, collapses.
Right. Polyphemus. Where is the brain? Where is the clash of intellect versus raw, unchecked savagery? In my book, my boy Odysseus uses supreme wit. He tells the giant his name is nobody, intoxicates him with unmixed wine, and blinds him with calculated precision. It proves that human intelligence can conquer brute strength. And what does Nolan give us? A mute, starving enemy commander trapped in a dark, damp cave who can't even speak. You traded a legendary mythic debate of wits for an art house jump scare. Where is the storytelling? If the monster is just a mindless, pickled brute, then outsmarting him requires zero skill. My Odysseus won through cleverness. Your Odysseus just brawls in the mud like a common brute. Roar. Okay, fine. It's scary, but a grunt is not a character, Nolan. Give me a monologue next time. Athena, my glorious, gray-eyed goddess of wisdom, the divine spark that guides mortals through impossible odds. Look at you, standing there like a miserable art house projection. Why strip away the divine machinery that makes epic poetry epic?
I'm not a goddess, Homer. There are no glowing Olympian deities in 2026. Zeus is just a low rumble of thunder, and Poseidon is just an aggressive ocean storm. I am a hallucination. I am the physical manifestation of Odysseus's crushing war guilt, sharing the face of a Trojan priestess he murdered.
That is a massive cop-out. You've traded the grand, cosmic scale of divine intervention for cheap, clinical pop psychology. In my epics, the gods represent the objective, terrifying forces of fate, wisdom, and human excellence that we mortals strive to touch. By reducing Athena to a guilt-ridden PTSD hallucination inside Matt Damon's head, you aren't deepening the story, you're shrinking it.
We made it psychologically plausible.
Ooh, I can't wait to see what you did with my beautiful Helen of Troy.
Yo.
What the fuck?
What? Is you racist or something?
The director himself. Let's talk about your precious, miserable ending. You threw out a divinely sanctioned restoration of peace, a heartwarming reunion with Laertes, and the sacred olive tree bed test, all to have Matt Damon and Anne Hathaway burn down a temple of Athena and sail off into eternal exile.
Homer, your ending is a fairy tale. A clean, blood-soaked palace slaughter, followed by instant domestic bliss. It is entirely naive to the permanent psychological cost of war. A man who sacks cities cannot simply walk home and sleep peacefully.
That is where you fundamentally misunderstand the human spirit. That is the whole point of the epic journey. The ancient Greeks understood trauma better than any modern filmmaker. They knew men returned broken from Troy, but the triumph of the Odyssey isn't that war leaves you undamaged. It is that human resilience, cleverness, and love can overcome the chaos and rebuild a shattered world.
Plausible deniability requires ambiguity. The inner rings of the astrolabe are spinning. He can never truly go home.
He did go home because he chose to stop running from his past and face his life. Your movie doesn't portray deep psychological truth. It just traps your characters in an endless, pretentious narrative loop where nobody is ever allowed to find peace. My hero fought monsters, outsmarted gods, wept for his lost men, and earned his quiet bed by the olive tree. Stop robbing audiences of catharsis just because you're afraid of a happy ending. Let the man sleep in his own bed, Christopher!